It is the final day of KiteFoil World Series Sardinia. Hi, my name is Andy Rice, and with me is Mirko Babini, president of Kia Wind Club. Mirko, we've got an exciting medal series format here on the final day. And what would you say the breeze is here blowing out of Poeto Beach?
Yeah, the breeze is from Mistral direction, so it's a straight offshore wind, really patchy. It's going to be tactics for all competitors, and I guess today they will use a bigger kite, and then it's cloudy, so until it's not going to be sunny, then the wind will stay like that, so it's going to be interesting.
Great. Well, we've got quite a different format that we're pursuing as well, where there are certainly some tweaks to it compared with what we've seen in the past. And we start with the golden ticket race, and we've trialled this successfully in the wingfoil racing circuit, and we've seen it work very successfully there. This is the second time we will have used it here on the KiteFoil World Series, because we used it for the first time in Austria just about a month ago. And what it is everyone except the top 9 in the opening series go out together to compete in one long distance race, and whoever wins that race gets the 10th and final spot in the medal series. So that leaves the door open for absolutely anybody in the competition to theoretically still be able to win on the final day. The top man and the top woman to finish across the finish line of the golden ticket race, which is coming up shortly. So Mirko, it changes the mentality. I was just speaking to the Olympic silver medalist, Tony Vodicek. He's in the cafe just about 100 meters behind us. He's not able to compete here because he injured himself trying to do a cartwheel that didn't work out very well. But he says, at last, when I want to go, when everyone else goes out and parties on the second last night, I can't join them. But now they're going to stick around for the final day, and they're going to join me in a party on the last day, because no one's going to go home early. Everyone's going to stick around because everyone can still compete on the final day.
Yes, you're right. And the new format that we are testing and having the golden ticket, it keeps all the fleets alive until the last day. And it's really important because everyone is excited that they might get the chance to run then the medal, and which is really good. And few of them, they would have been love it to be already in. So they really play the card, and hopefully it's going to work.
Do you think that it's a format that could be adopted in big events, including the Olympic Games, or is that too much?
Honestly, I think it can be, because we know that the Olympics is a small fleet, and is all about to deliver the medal for just the top 3. But if you keep the door open as much as you can to add more drama and more, let's say, question who is going to be on the top 3 until the last minute, I think it is a format that might work. I really hope that they will start to understand, and they will appreciate that we are start using it more and more to all our international events. I really like it, and I think it might be.
Well, when you think that normally you've only got a few nations involved and interested in watching the outcome of the last day, because everybody else is pretty locked out, and especially with the boat classes like the Ilkas and the other boat classes in the Olympics, where someone can wrap up the gold medal with a whole day to spare, so you know the gold medal's already won. There's nothing more tedious than watching a race where you're just watching someone go through the motions because you know they've already won the gold medal. Hopefully this is going to keep more of the TV audience engaged, as well as the sailors themselves engaged all the way through to the end.
Yes, exactly, definitely. This is the point. You can imagine that everyone will still dreaming until the last day. And I think this format of the medal series, having the golden ticket that can mix the card again and get the golden ticket, which it might it might need to change the name to be used in the Olympics, because gold medal is gold. And
Yeah, it's confusing. That's true.
It will be that something that need to be sorted out lately. But about the format, I think is something that it will work, definitely work.
Well, here's another view from looking back towards Poeto Beach. That's where Mirko and I are sitting, where all the riders have launched, or some are still launching. Getting off the shore is quite tricky from this wind direction. Mirko, just tell us what makes this wind direction so tricky for the kiters?
Yeah, just because it's, when it's mistral wind and cloudy, it's gusty. And the gust also have a kind of 10 to 50 degree shift. And we have between 3 to 6 knots only on the first 100 to 100 meter. And then outside we can see they are fully foiling with no problem at all. So just because it's offshore, and you need to find the right gust and the right moment to get out from the beach.
And once you're up and running, you're generating your own breeze, aren't you? You're generating so much apparent wind that once you've got airflow across the kite, you're fine. But when you haven't got any initial momentum, capturing that wind, the actual true wind, can be tricky.
Yes, exactly. Luckily, the foiling, we know that works with their apparent wind, and they generate wind themselves as far as they loft the kite and the kite start looping or moving, and as far as they are falling, that is not a problem. They generate their speed, their own power. But to start, they need at least the breeze to keep the kite floating on the air, flying on the air, and at least moving the kite to generate the power by steering the kite up and down.
Well, we certainly had plenty of breeze yesterday. We had an absolutely barnstorming day in the final day of Open Series fleet racing. 6 races completed. Let's just get a recap of how yesterday's action unfolded. Five different winners in 6 exhilarating races on day 3 bodes well for a thrilling final medal series. First winner Friday afternoon went to Max Mader. No surprise there whatsoever. Surely the 18-year-old from Singapore would go on to score more bullets across the day, just as he'd done at KiteFoil World Series Austria a few weeks ago when he won 11 out of 12 fleet races. But some of the up-and-coming talents in the fleet had something to say about that. This is the new era after Paris 2024. First, it was the turn of 17-year-old Swiss rider Jan Stragiotti to charge to victory ahead of Mader. In the next heat, Greek rider Cameron Maramonides crossed in first place. After a lackluster early session in the lighter breeze, Axel Mazzella put on his 11-metre ozone during the lunch break and charged to back-to-back victories in stronger wind, the Frenchman showing excellent downwind pace in the late afternoon. Going into the final race of the day, Mader and Mazzella were level pegging on points at the top of the scoreboard. Who would take the leader's yellow bib going into the medal series? Italian Riccardo Pianozzi stole everyone's thunder by winning the last race of the afternoon using an old generation kite. But following him closely across the line in second was Mader, which was good enough for him to take the yellow bib away from Mazzella going into the final day. In the women, Elena Langviller closed the gap on Jessie Catman, but it's still the French rider who goes through to the final at the top of the standings. Gal Zuckerman, Maggie Pachetto and the rest of the women will be competing in the knockout rounds of the medal series for the right to join the top 2 in the women's final. There we are. That's how we have come to the point where we are today. No runaway leader like we saw in Austria a month ago, where Max Mader from Singapore was winning race after race after race. There is Max in the zone. He's got his earphones in. He's wearing the yellow bib, so he's not taking part in the golden ticket race, and nor are the top 9. So he can spend a little bit more time on the beach. In fact, he only needs to win 1 race today, and he's won the championship here. That's the reward that he gets for having won the opening series. In the opening series, it's all about first to 3 wins, and Max and also Jesse Cameron in the women are already rewarded with getting 2 wins to go straight through to the final. So that puts them on match point. Meanwhile, we've got 4 minutes to the start. We'll go to a quick ad break and we'll be back to you shortly. Two minutes 20 to the start. Some quite significant gusts out there. You can see the different colours on the water. Mirko, what do you think would be the right size of kite choice on a day like today? It looks pretty tricky.
Yeah, this condition is with this condition is pretty tricky to decide the kite. I think they mainly use 15. Some of them maybe 19. Just to be fully power, but outside, as we know, the course, it will be windward close to shore, where the wind is light, and then all the way downwind, a little bit farther down, and then back again. So they might get really 2 different wind, not only wind direction and shift, but also on wind strength. I suppose that most of them, they've been out with the 15, but we will know soon which will be the right choice from the leader that we will see crossing the finish line, which luckily the finish line is going to be close to us.
Correct. Yes, it's very close to us on Poeto Beach. We've got 1 minute to the start, and we've got some pretty impressive names in here. Lorenzo Baschetti, one of the best Italians. Probably would have hoped that he would have already got through into the medal series, but now is his opportunity. We've got Monaco's rider Alex Aylen. We've got one of the all-time greats, Florian Gruber from Germany. So some significant names that will be looking to grab that final spot in the medal series, and also it's the same for the women. We've got women fighting it out for that 10th spot to get into the women's medal series as well. Race start just delayed, so we will have to find out just how long that might take to sort out. Let us just catch up with Benoit Gomez, who's been designing Element kites. We saw all kinds of kites doing well yesterday. Let's just hear what Benoit Gomez has been up to, because he's been a busy boy.
I'm a rider since already a few years, and I'm always really interested by all the technical parts of the kite and the foil. So for me, spending time in the water, like setting some kite and developing, helped me to reach the right performance and helped me to know more my material. So the brand that I did is Element Kiteboarding. I get associated with 2 Switzerland, one designer and one guy who's helped us for all the development of the structure. especially KiteFoil racing, is it's always compromised between stability, performance, accessibility. So, like as a rider, like when I saw how many kites we have to buy to be on the top level, I wanted to try to get a kite which is easy to use, good performance, and very durable. So we put everything in our side to make the kite as best as possible. For durability, we use heavier fabric that make the kite more durable. And yeah, we went a little bit on the extreme with the aspect ratio and the design. We have a patent leading edge that make the kite special and super stable. So yeah, we are really happy to be here to make it on time for the registration. And yeah, we have a good kite and also in the future free ride range coming.
So that was Benoit Gomez. We'll see him a little bit later on in the knockout rounds. The French rider and many other riders going fast with his brand new Element kites, which we've seen winning races here on the racetrack in Sardinia. We've got 2 minutes 15 seconds to go to the golden ticket race. And Mirko, we've seen yesterday 5 different winners from 6 different races, winning with a range of equipment. So as well as the fly surfers, which are so well established as a winning piece of equipment, we also saw Ozone and Element doing well up in the sky. And as we've come to expect, Levitas and Chubang are the 2 leading foil brands also winning races yesterday. Great to see, isn't it?
Yes, it's great to see. And then when you started to have a different winner every race, I mean, we had only Axel that win 2. And that means that the level is super high. And we saw the rounding mark after the first leg. The top 10, they rounded the mark within the 10 seconds, which is really nothing. And then every second count. And it's really important that also the equipment is quite level, because a few times we saw that on the top 3 different kite and 2 different foil as well. So again, equipment can make the difference, but mainly is the athletes, the competitors that need to really fine-tuning all the pieces that are with him to deliver the good performance. So this is really is a really good signal. And it means that also the new kite are improved from the previous season. So now we are 40 seconds away from the start. We have a bunch of competitors on port, and the other one on starboard. Is going to be really interesting to see. It might be the choice to go on the right, on the left, avoiding one extra tack.
That's it. You know, you might as well bet hard and bet on one number in the golden ticket race. You're going to need a little bit of luck, and maybe you can find that extra piece of luck by braving a port tack start and going the opposite way to everybody else. But how many are going to go for the port? How many are going for the starboard? We're about to find out as they launch off the line. And actually, it looks a very even split. That's very surprising. Start not clear, so we know that at least one rider was over, but it's surprising to me how many have gone for the port tack start. And Zohar Haruvi, we've heard that Brazil is over. That's probably Lucas Fonseca, who's looking very good out on the right hand side, but he was a little bit too good. He pulled the trigger too early on his port tack start, so Lucas Fonseca is not going to make it through to the medal series.
Yes, and it's really important. This particular race, there is, I mean, the second doesn't count. So, or you win or you win.
There is no second,
There
Mirko.
is no second here, and you need to win, and there is no other chance. It's the only chance, and you need to win with that chance. I understand why they decided to go to the right side of the course. Looking on the images, we can see a little bit more wind on the right side. We can see more dark patches, which it might be the reason they decided to start maybe a little bit later, losing maybe a second and a half on the crossing the starting line. But the right side of the course is definitely the way to go.
Well, let's see who comes out ahead. What did you just see? That very messy.
Yes, it's Boschetti with his white North kite. It was leading that group. I don't know if it was a contact or just a mistake on the...
Oh, looks like contact. Looks like at least 2 riders involved in some kind of tackle or touchdown. So that looks like it's the end of Lorenzo Boschetti's attempt to get the golden ticket. Who else is going to make it? Lucas Fonseca still looking good, but we know that the Brazilian was over the line early, so it's not going to be Fonseca who takes the spot. And it looks like some of them attacked a little bit too early on that ley line. So one of the good reasons for going to the right is you try and make it in one go. Have they judged their ley line correctly? Flo Gruber doing well in the top group. So the German Flo Gruber having to do another tack up towards the top. Giuseppe Paolillo also in the front group.
Wow.
Leo Collado. Very, very tight, but someone's got a big lead. That could well be Flo Gruber in the lead. Now doing in excess of 30 knots downwind, doing about 32 knots. So Flo Gruber with a good, healthy lead in the early stages of this race. Is anyone going to be able to catch him up? Flo Gruber on the left of your picture, already jibed with one of the new Fly Surfer kites. He's one of the riders for Fly Surfer. And Lucas Fonseca still up at the front, but disqualified for being over early on the line. And Lorenzo Boschetti also out of the competition. Giuseppe Paolillo doing very well. Leo Collado, Carl Maida up in amongst the front few. But remember, all that really matters, the only thing that matters is winning this race. It's to grab the golden ticket. And right now, it looks like it's going the way of the multiple world champion from a few years back, Florian Gruber from Germany.
Yes, exactly. It seems that him is leading. And I was looking on the tracking, and it seems that the collision might be for Lorenzo Boschetti together with Fonseca, with Luca Fonseca. That would have been a pity because he was also UFD. But let's see.
Flo Gruber still leading, but Giuseppe Paolillo also threatening. Very close, coming towards the bottom of the course.
Yeah, there is a lot of changing leader. They are really close. It really depends on the angle, how deep they can go, depending on the gust. Now they are changing quite a lot, and it seems that Zohar, the Israeli Rui Zohar, is leading. Because we have to remember that it's a long downwind now.
So Zohar from Israel, Flo Gruber in the hunt. And after leading quite significantly, Flo Gruber now has some work to do to catch up Zohar Haruvi as they come towards the bottom of the course. Flo Gruber driving away, looking for another way past the Israeli.
Yeah, now it seems again Paolillo and Gruber, they are really close. They are going all the way downwind, 30 knot plus. Really deep approaching the ley line for Mark II.
Zohar Haruvi looking good with one of the old Fly Surfer kites, the bottom right of picture, and Flo Gruber really has dropped back. So there's some big holes in the breeze down this run. It's a very, very patchy day. There are big gusts, big lulls out there, and how you read the breeze going on these downwind legs is critical for this race, and it's going to be critical for the knockout rounds later on this afternoon.
Yes, it's going to be a really question mark until the end. Who is going to run around the mark, the bottom mark, which is really 1.5 miles, almost 2 miles away. And I guess the wind over there is really strong. We can see also the speed are faster than here. And now it's going to be all the way upwind. A long upwind, I must say, Andy.
It is. It's going to be a long old battle.
Is it Paolillo? Yeah, it was Paolillo, the first one that rounded the mark with the old fly surfer, and Flo in second.
I thought Flo was on one of the red kites, but we've got a new blue fly surfer doing well out there as well, and we need to identify.
Yeah, a red fly surfer.
Yeah, but there's also a blue one that's doing well there as well. So Giuseppe Paolillo doing really well with some old technology with one of the older fly surfer kites. And we're hearing that the new brands, the new designs are more stable. You were observing this yesterday, Mirko. They seem to hold their shape better. They seem to be more solid, and they are yielding a result which is they're higher and faster upwind. They point closer to the wind, and they're a little bit quicker compared with the old kites. But there's a lot. It's not just about boat speed. This race right now. It's about reading your way around a really difficult race course, and Paolillo doing really well at this as we climb up this final long windward leg towards Poeto Beach.
Yes, again, I think we can not even guessing who is going to win, because every single second there is a change into the leader. That means that all the gusts are really different, and the wind is shifting quite a lot. They are also trying to tack as less as possible, because maybe they don't want to lose time on tacking, but they go also if it's not the right things to do, but they keep going on one side of the course, try to get more speed as they can. So now it seems that Paolillo dropped back to 9 from leading just in a minute of upwind leg. So let's see. It's gonna be interesting who is gonna get the golden ticket.
We've got one rider tacking away, looking for something better on the right hand side. You can see how gusty and patchy it is with the breeze blowing off Poeto Beach. And here is Flo Gruber. Jan Voster also doing well from Germany, the next generation of German rider.
Yeah, on the between the leader we can see Flavio Marx is another younger Italian from Lago di Garda, from Garda Lake, and Jacopo Espi is also doing pretty well. Now it seems to be in third place. But again, they are all close each other, really close each other.
Good big gust coming in. I'm surprised to see the blue fly surfer tacking away when they did. I feel like they've just tacked away just as they were about to enter that stronger breeze. But easy for me to say with a bird's eye view. It's a very different perspective that they're seeing from down there on the water. Lucas Fonseca still up there, but Lucas won't know that he's been disqualified for being over early on the start line. And they're coming up towards Poeto Beach, getting towards the top end of the course. We're still trying to identify who's who in the leading group.
I think the one that is sitting on the best position right now, it seems to be Florian Gruber is for sure is the one that is on the right side of the course. It seems to approach the ley line sooner than the other. But we can see another gust and another angle.
And it's still so close, isn't it? There's not much race course left to do, but a lot could still change in a short space of time.
Yes, exactly. And now they are approaching the ley line, and another tack for Flo, as I can see from the window, because they are not far away from us. Yeah, we can spot the finish boat on the left side of the windward mark. And here we have the first one that is rounding the top mark. Exactly with the black kite, which is it's Fonseca.
That's Fonseca, so he's over the line.
Yeah.
I mean, over the start line, that is.
This is Flo.
So Flo Gruber, we believe, we need to confirm that, but we think Flo Gruber has done enough to take the golden ticket. And look how close it was at the finish. So close between the front few.
Yes, exactly. So we just need to receive a confirmation, which if it was Lucas Fonseca, then you have a surprise.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate surprise for Fonseca. Yeah. I wonder if he has any clue that he was over the line early, but that's the price he paid for a port tack start. So unfortunate for the Brazilian, but a misjudgment. So he's only got himself to blame for that, and it could open the door for, well, we believe it has opened the door for Flo Gruber from Germany to grab the men's golden ticket, and we wait for the rest of the fleet to finish to find out which of the women will take the golden ticket. We will go to a quick ad. We'll be back to you soon. And they are coming ashore now, and we understand that Flo Gruber has won the men's race. We've still got to get confirmation on who's won the women's race. Flo Gruber, congratulations. You've grabbed that golden ticket. You were second across the finish line. I'm thinking maybe you thought Lucas from Brazil had grabbed it.
Yeah, I saw they were a bit early, so I was not sure. So like you always have to wait till the final decision. I think I was quite clear over the course, no protests, so it should be fine. It was not easy with the start. It was super shifty there, really gusty. And I think in the beginning, the big kites had the advantage. But yeah, so with the 15 it paid off, was quite nice. I was leading after the first upwind. I could use the shifts good and hold it okay on the downwind, just lost 2 positions and gained them back. And had a nice fight with Lucas. And yeah, I got a bit lucky that he was over. I saw it already. I was hoping maybe I get a bit lucky today and get the ticket, but it was a nice match racing with him.
And does the 15 give you a little bit more opportunity to take those shifts in the shifty stuff?
Yeah, you're way quicker during the tags and the jibes, and there was already some pressure, so it was good to use the pressure with a small kite, and then the disadvantage was not too big on the downwind, even if it was a long one, and yeah. So it was a good call, especially on the last upwind. I think on the big kites they got a bit tired, and yeah, I'm happy it worked out.
Great. Well, you live to fight now through the knockout rounds, and we're trialing or we're using something different to what we've used in the past. So this repechage, quarter, semi, and through to the final, it's all doable for you, Flo, and you've got the experience of how hard it is out there. It looks super shifty and gusty.
Yeah, so I had already a good warm-up. I need something to drink now, and then I will go back out for my heat. And yeah, on Chauncey I did already quite well with 2 wins and 1 time getting a 4th in the final. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's good fun, and yeah, that's why I'm here for. And let's see how far it goes. And if not, I secured already my 5th place in the overall ranking for the season. So that was also important in this race for me. And yeah, I try to enjoy it as much as possible.
Flo, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you out in the repechage soon.
Thank
See you
you
soon.
Thank you.
And we've heard that Maria Dolence has taken the women's place, the women's golden ticket. So I'm just going to run over to Maria and present the ticket to her. Maria, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've grabbed the golden ticket, so congratulations.
Just a second.
Sure. How was the race for you?
Crazy. I fell right before the race, and I think I was almost late for the start. And I just went full gas to the start. I wasn't even sure if I made it. I just was doing the laps.
You've done it. You've made it through to the next round. So here you are. If you can hold the golden ticket, we've got Flo and Maria going through to the next round, going through to the repechage, and let's see how far they can get through the competition. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good job.
Back to you soon.
Thank you.
So there's Lucas Fonseca, a little bit disappointed that he was not able to grab the golden ticket that he thought had gone his way, but he was just fractionally over the line too soon on a brave port tack start. Hasn't worked out for him this time, so he'll be no doubt thinking how he could have run things differently. You can see the frustration on his face. But Mirko, sometimes you've got to push these things. You don't know where the line is until you've stepped over the line a few times.
Yeah, and mainly when you are on port, then it's a little bit difficult also to spot exactly where is the line, because you have all the fleet coming against you, and you have to find and squeeze yourself rather in front of it, or try to be snaky between the fleet. And I guess he tried to be in the front, and this was just a half a second.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that in half a second you do 15 meter, 10 meter.
That's right, at the speeds that they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we get into the knockout rounds. All the subsequent races that you see now will have only 4 riders in each competition. Those are all the kites lying on the beach ready to get going. We talk a lot about the kites. We talk a lot about the foils as well. Maybe we don't talk enough about the boards. Well, we'll make up for that with a conversation that we had recently with Connor Bainbridge, whose Blue Fox boards are doing extremely well in the fleet, and winners of the Olympic gold medals in both the men's and the women's category at Paris 2024 just a few weeks ago. So his Blue Fox boards are running hot. Let's hear about Connor Bainbridge and where Blue Fox came from.
I started Blue Fox boards during COVID actually. I kind of couldn't really get a board that I really wanted to use on the race course, and I was always quite into designing and thinking up new ideas, and so during COVID I taught myself CAD, and Blue Fox boards was designed. You know, the intention was just to build one board for myself and race on a board that I'd designed and had made, and then more and more people got interested, and kind of the local Weymouth guys and the girls kind of started ordering them, and before I knew it, there was a company, and it was never really the intention, and suddenly, yeah, 4 years on now, and we have a board building company, which is pretty awesome. I think that all the different designers have their own idea of what a board should look like, and you know, I'm no different. I think every designer will admit that they have their own tendencies and their own styles that they're looking for, and kind of what I try to do in Blue Fox is remove that a little bit, and so I'm still getting the boards that I want and are looking like the design, but trying to take as much feedback and input as possible, which is why when you look at Blue Fox boards on the beach, you know, no two are the same, and everyone can have that custom look, and I've kind of built it on feeding from other people's opinions and other people's kind of ideas of what they wanted boards to look like. And when I was building those boards, it kind of goes into a pool of what we've then got for this cycle. So we've always kind of run custom boards, always, and I think the problem with custom boards is that it takes a little bit longer to design. It's quite an expensive process and quite a difficult process. And so what we wanted to do is try and make that choice a little bit easier. And so for 2025, we've released basically 2 ranges, which is the male board and the female board, which is in 2 different sizes. And from there, you can then have your normal options of having it set up for a tube hanger, setting up for a levitas. But also in 2025, we've just released a new hybrid box, which basically allows you to have one board with multiple options, and so you can now jump between levitas and tube hanger and other foil manufacturers and tune the angle a little bit more accurately, actually have a board which you can develop for your own riding style without having to just to buy another board, which I think is what the culture that we've got into the past 4 years. So the new board basically has a much longer box, which basically is based on the standard Tuttle box, and the problem with a tube hanger and a levitas is they both run in different positions and different angles, and so the deck angle is set up so it's bang on in the middle between a tube hanger and a levitas, and then we have these shims that fit in, and so for a tube hanger you slip a shim in the front, screw it in from the normal way, and there you go, the board is set up for a tube hanger. And we offer this in multiple different angles, and so for girls that they're looking for different riding styles, and these are really cheap and easy to produce, and so we can be selling these, and you can have 4 or 5 for a different venue and decide, and then that simply pulls out, you slip the rear shim in, and now it's set up for levitas. So it's really is that simple to now jump between foils, and you can now travel with one board and have multiple different foils that you're testing, which I felt was so important at this early stage of the cycle where people don't necessarily know what foil they're going to be using. And so the outset of buying several different boards and several different designs with different angles and everything else is an expensive one, and so the aim was to reduce that and actually make a board that works for both but is also customizable for both. As everyone knows, with Blue Fox we've always tried to get the shortest board, and as we were saying about design philosophy, it's always been kind of my philosophy that a shorter board, it's less surface area, it's less drag, and also it's a lot less weight in terms of that swing rate that you're getting. But one of the big problems that we did have was boards getting so short that super light winds was becoming a bit difficult and big touchdowns was difficult. So those are two areas that we really tried to focus on for the new generation of board. And so we've come up with this kind of bulbous nose concept, which basically creates a lot more volume up here in this front section. So 5 to 6 knots becomes a lot easier, but also those heavy touchdowns that you have become a lot easier as well. That combined with the tail cutouts that both me and Ellie were running at the Olympics, just the whole combination basically makes it a much easier board to use at lower winds, but also for those touchdowns and in the more hectic conditions, it kind of all brings it together. So these are our final boards that we've been working on for the last 4 years. So everything kind of that I've developed, and the God knows how many prototypes and test boards that we've had have kind of brought us to these two designs, and so we're really excited to basically release them to the market. So both gold medalists were on Blue Fox boards, and the female silver medalist was on Blue Fox boards as well. And I think we have past 3 years world champions in the female fleet and medals in most of the male events, both male and female events for the past 4 years. Blue Fox came from a random kind of a sit down, and it actually came out when I was 18. And I started selling adjustable downhaul systems, and the original company was called Blue Fox Water Sports, which was designed around ropes and splicing for windsurfing. And then it just came from then, and Blue Fox boards was a natural moving on point from that.
So that's Connor Bainbridge. Turns out that making his own board led to a business that he didn't ever think he'd need to create, but it's doing so well. Why would he want to stop now? And if he did, then obviously there are other boards are available, many other brands, but doing extremely well with Blue Fox, and interesting to see that high level of customization. So there's the view on board the race committee boat, and good breeze out there, waiting to get started with the first round of the knockout rounds. We're going to be into 4-rider knockout rounds, and the first round will be the repechage. So our golden ticket winners that we saw just now, Flo Gruber in the men, Maria Dolence in the women, will be joining each of them 3 other riders that have already gone into the repechage. So let's just show the women's standings in the top 10 now. So if we start from the bottom, the winner of the golden ticket, Maria Dolence, is going to be joining Italy's Giorgia Speciale, Poland's Karolina Jankowska, and Portugal's Mafalda Pires de Lima. And the first 2 across the finish line will, from that single race, will go through to the next round. It's the quarterfinals, where Israel's Maya Ashkenazi and Italy's Tiana Laporte have already claimed their spots. Now, whichever of those 2 riders goes through from that single race will then go through to the single race semi-final, where they'll be joining another Israeli Gal Zuckerman and Italy's Maggie Pachetto, and the first two across the line from that single race will then go into the finals, but they will carry no race wins with them. They will have the challenge of having to win 3 races in the final, whereas Switzerland's Elena Langville, for having come through in second place in the opening series, is already on 1 win, and Jessie Cameron from France is already on 2 wins. The yellow bib wearer, Jessie Cameron, only needs to win 1 race in the final, and she will take out the title here in Sardinia. So that's the situation for the women. It's a similar setup for the men. Let's have a look at the men's lineup for the top 10. So the winner of the golden ticket we just discovered is Flo Gruber from Germany, where he'll be joining fellow German Yanis Maus, Croatia's Martin Dolence, and Greece's Cameron Maramonides in the repechage. And again, same as with the women, only 2 will go through to the next round, where they will line up against Britain's Connor Bainbridge and Italy's Riccardo Pianozzi. And the top 2 from that will go through to the semis, where we already have France's Benoit Gomez and Switzerland's Jan Stragiotti, And the top two from that finally will go through to the final, where they will join Axel Mazzella and Max Mader. And Max Mader is wearing the yellow bib. It was a very close battle yesterday between Mader and Mazzella as to who was going to carry through the yellow bib today. Well, it came out in Singapore's favour, and that means Max Mader is on match point. Mazzella is on one race win. He needs two more. And then our two semi-finalists through from the knockout rounds will have to win 3 races in the final. But as we saw in the Olympic Games, Valentin Bontas managed to fight his way through from the lower order and come into the semi-final in the final needing to win 3 races, and that's exactly what the Austrian did to win Olympic gold. So we know that it's possible. So we have 3.5 minutes to the start of the next race. We will go to a quick break. Back to you soon. Two minutes to the start of what will be the women's repechage, and we've got Maria Dolenz, Karolina Jankowska, Mafalda Perez de Lima, and Georgia Speciale. Mirko, tell us a little bit about Georgia Speciale, because this is her first ever major kite competition.
Yes, exactly. It's a really a challenge for her. I really appreciate her, the attitude from Georgia to switch from, she was an RS6 athletes into the major team, the Olympic team, and 2 cycles ago, and then she switched to IQ foil. She performed pretty well on IQ, and then at some point during the end of the cycle, she started to have also a nice relationship with Ricardo, which they are really a great couple, I would say. And she started to thought about that challenge, and I'm really happy that she get into the kite, and she's really pushing every day as much as she can with the KiteFoil, and she's doing well. I mean, she just started a few months ago, and she's already here around the mark, competing against the other, and I'm really curious to see what can happen with this repechage heat.
Well, interestingly, it looks like it's the Italian Giorgia Speciale that's going to be making a port tack approach, because the other 3 that we can see front of picture here are choosing to start on starboard. So Georgia really going for something pretty different compared with the rest of the other 3. The say fleet. There's only 4 of them in the race. We've got 10 seconds to go, and approaching on starboard, we've got Croatia, Portugal, and Poland, and approaching on port tack, we've got Italy. So off they go. Those are the 3, and Giorgia Speciale just out of picture. She'll come into view across our camera view now. That's Giorgia Speciale firing out to the right hand side. So how will she do against the other 3? It's very close out of this line. Good starts for Mafalda, Karolina, and Maria. Maria Dolenz, the golden ticket winner, first to tack away out to the right hand side, following the Italian Giorgia Speciale. But we know how shifty it is out here, Mirko.
Yes, really shifty. But again, back to Giorgia Speciale, she's been competing in windsurfing science really an early age, and she know what to do, and for sure she can read the wind on the course area, and this is why she went straight to the right side, which it was also the good option for the golden ticket race. And I'm really curious. So far, she's sitting on second, but we understand from the previous race that with this kind of condition, we never say what is going to happen until the end.
And Mafalda Perez de Lima has a click more boat speed than the Italian Giorgia Speciale, who is so new to kitefoiling. She knows the kitefoiling scene very well from having supported Riccardo Pianozzi all the way through his campaign, all the way through to coming fourth at the recent Olympic Games. And now Giorgia's out there doing it for herself. And remember, you've only got to be in the top two. It doesn't matter in these knockout rounds if you win the race. In fact, if you find yourself in a match race, don't engage with the other boat. Just make sure that you look after each other, and as long as you're in the top two, that's all that matters. So it's a different mindset. You don't have to win races yet, but you do have to win races in the final.
Exactly.
Pires de Lima from Portugal currently in the lead. Giorgia Speciale in a battle with the golden ticket winner Maria Dolence, and somewhere at the back, Poland's Karolina Jankowska.
So who is,
that's Croatia on the left.
Yeah.
So that's Maria Dolence, the CRO on her fly surfer kite.
But Mafalda, she's leading now.
That's Mafalda, bottom of the screen.
But again, now they have a long second legs all the way downwind.
But Mafalda with a pretty handy lead right now. So Mafalda Pires de Lima, as things stand, looking good for going through to the next round, but also looking good is Maria Dolence. Maria Dolence in a battle with Giorgia Speciale, but Karolina Jankowska also coming back into it. So the moment it looks like one of these spots is definitely going to go to Portugal, but as to who's going to grab the second of the two spots available, it's a much closer battle.
Yes, exactly. We saw that Giorgia Speciale, she just missed the ley line. She had to do the double tack just close to the top mark, and she lose a few meter, and then Karolina, she went in front of her. So, but again, let's wait. It's gonna be long way before rounding Mark II.
Pires de Lima doing 28, almost 29 knots downwind. So very impressive speeds, now touching 30 knots of speed downwind. Karolina Jankowska from Poland up to second. Maria Dolence in third, and Giorgia Speciale now at the back.
Yeah, exactly. But they are not far away.
Big gusts on the race course. You can see that there from that perspective. And Mafalda Pires de Lima going round the bottom of the course, still comfortably in the lead.
Exactly. Now they round the mark, and again back to the second upwind.
Jankowska from Poland in second, coming down towards the bottom of the course, but probably almost 30 seconds behind the leader. Not that that matters, remember, as long as Jankowska stays in second and doesn't drop any lower, then Poland also will be taking a spot in the next round, which will be the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you can see how gusty it is by looking on the kite how it's moving, shaking. That means that they don't have full control because it's really gusty, the wind.
Pires de Lima at the bottom of our screen, but towards the halfway mark, towards the top of the course, found a nice shift on the left-hand side, so that's why she tacked She's got a really good lift up towards the ley line for the final top mark, and she's probably only got one more tack to do on this race course. So really nicely picked ley line there. So, I mean, she can afford to cruise with the lead that she's got anyway, but Perez de Lima pushing really hard, going about 21 knots of boat speed upwind towards the top of the course, and looking increasingly likely to take one of these spots through to the quarterfinals for Portugal.
Yeah, I think that Carolina also she plays safe. She control Marina Dolenk, and she keep herself windward to her and monitoring. I think she realized that being on the second spot is enough.
That's all you need to do. Yeah. It's a sort of a more conservative mindset, but then when they get through to the final, if they do, then it's all about winning races. That's what matters there. Perez de Lima now onto the final ley line, and she goes around the top mark, and Portugal is just about to take the first spot through to the next round. It will be Mafalda Perez de Lima that goes through to the quarterfinals, successfully negotiating the first part of these knockout stages. So let's see how much further she can go through the competition. Very nicely sailed by Mafalda, and quite a gap back towards the second of the riders, and Karolina Jankowska from Poland now tacked onto starboard, approaching the top mark, and then onto the final reach. So a really solid race sailed by Jankowska as well, coming in some way ahead of Maria Dolence and Georgia Speciale, recently converted from the IQ4 windsurfer, bringing up the rear, but no doubt going to be a very fast learner in the coming months, particularly as she's working with such a strong Italian squad who have been very good at the kite foiling for quite some time. But congratulations there to Karolina Jankowska, the young teenager, successfully negotiating her way through to the quarterfinals. We'll go to a quick break. Back to you shortly. There goes Max Mader out, getting ready to compete in the final. He's going to give himself quite a decent run of practice because we've got a few knockout round stages to get through. The next up is going to be the men's repechage, and we've got Cameron Maramonides from Greece, Martin Dolence from Croatia, and two Germans, Janis Maus and our golden ticket race winner from just a few minutes ago, that's Flo Gruber. And we got 2 minutes 50 to the next start. And Mirko, Cameron Maramonides, winner of a race yesterday. The only one of these actually, of these four to have won a race, but we know that Martin Dolence is perfectly capable of getting through to finals. He was second silver medalist in Austria just a few weeks ago. So he'll probably be a bit disappointed to find that he's this far down in the standings. And of course, Yannis Maus, 5th at the Olympic Games, and Flo Gruber, a former world champion. So this one could go any one of 4 ways, really. They're a very strong group.
Yes, definitely. Any of those 4, they can be able to win the repechage for the quarterfinal spot. And then we have to remember 2 of them. Honestly, I don't know. 2 of
Yeah,
them.
how do you pick 2 out of those 4? Yeah.
I mean, any can do it.
Three of them went to the Olympic Games, but Flo Gruber, the one that didn't go to the Olympic Games, is possibly more experienced than all of them.
And Florian Gruber has been almost coaching most of them.
Right.
So, like...
Well, let's hope they've forgotten some of what he told them. And
let's see. I'm curious. 1 minute 20 to the start, so we will know soon.
The other benefit, if there are any patterns out there at all, is Flo Gruber's already done the golden ticket race, so he's maybe got some handle on what the breeze is doing out there. It looked from the way that Mafalda Perez de Lima won that race and finished so strongly on that second upwind leg, it looked like the left-hand side was paying, but it's probably changing all the time. If you had to pick a side for today, which side would you pick?
Right. I'm said that since the beginning. I see more wind on the right side of the course, in our left, I would say, from the beach, just because it's more open behind. There is a couple of lagoon where the wind will be less disturbed compared to the right one. Also, if you have a maybe better bending on the left side of the course, but more gust and better wind on the right side of the course. So
they seem to be making a pretty late approach to the start. I don't quite see the pattern building the way that we normally do. We've got 5 seconds to go, and I don't really see. It could be that Martin Dolenz is going for star, but there we are. So it's a clear start. And we got Martin Dolenz going out to the right, and we've got Yannis Maus and Flo Gruber going. These are the 2, going out to the right. Yannis Maus and Flo Gruber. So it's Germany ×2 going out to the right. Martin Dolenz going out to the left. And I think Cameron Maromanides might have had some trouble before the start. I'm not sure if Cameron Maromanides from Greece has actually crossed the start line.
But it's really interesting to see this split decision, rather all the way right or all the way left. I'm really curious to see when they decided. Now Martin decided to tack, not to go all the way to the ley line. Maybe find out. He spotted some good breeze and some good gust to stay on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think on such a shifty day, there's maybe good reason not to go to the ley line straight away. But Martin Dolenz certainly doing good speed on the left-hand side of the track. We're looking at the 2 Germans, and at the moment, it's the younger German Yannis Maus who has Flo Gruber tucked away in his bad air. But Yannis Maus has now tacked onto what he believes is the ley line. And Flo Gruber now also tacked. And it's a matter of how will Martin Dolenz from Croatia square up against them, and Cameron Maromanides has also got onto the racetrack as well and has gone the same side as Martin Dolenz, but he's bringing up the rear. At the moment, it looks like Yannis Maus is going to get across the front of Martin Dolenz, so in these early stages, Maus is in the lead, and it's very close between Flo Gruber and Martin Dolenz for who's going to get that second spot. Remember, this is another repechage race where you've only got to be in the top 2 across the finish line. Yannis Maus going nicely with his new Fly Surfer, just a bit of a pump of the board just to make sure that he gets round. And then extremely close around the top mark for second place between Dolenz just ahead of Gruber.
Yes, exactly. They are really close, and Gruber will try to stay deeper, leeward to him, but deeper down. And as you can see, Martin, we know that Martin is really fast, always on the downwind leg. He's pushing a lot. He's keep the angle a little bit closer, but he's trying to get more speed. It goes in an early jibe. Let's see if he gains some space. It seems to be in control of flow.
Very tight battle. If there's any hope for Cameron Meromenides at the back, it's that Flo Gruber and Martin Dolenz are giving each other a hard time for second spot, and they're probably slowing each other down, which is all playing into the hands of Yannis Maus at the bottom of our screen, still holding the lead. But actually, Martin Dolenz looking quick, top right as well. Looks like he's got a good lick of pace there for Croatia. Martin Dolenz going into the jibe. Now Yannis Maus, our race leader, going into the jibe. Flo Gruber following through on the right-hand side. This is Martin Dolenz, centre picture, and he's closed the gap on Yannis Maus. So Yannis Maus' lead has certainly been reduced by a fast-charging Martin Dolenz, and a quick splashdown there for Maus, followed by a quick splashdown for Dolenz, and Dolenz now finds himself in the lee of Yannis Maus, and from what was a good attacking position, suddenly Yannis Maus feels a little bit safer again.
Yeah, but again, doesn't make any sense for them to have a really close battle. Otherwise, it might be that Flo gain more
advantage,
more advantage to them. You see, they continue to cover it themselves and they stay close to each other. So they might pay a really high price, leaving Flo Gruber and Cameron Meromenides completely goes to the other side alone.
Cameron Meromenides did attack immediately around the leeward mark, which you might as well do when you're in last place. And Meromenides is actually starting to look like a threat on the far side of the race course. So from being way at the back, I'm wondering, I mean, Mirko, I know you're a big fan of the right-hand side. I'm wondering if Meromenides, top of picture, you can hardly see him, but top of picture, is actually doing pretty well out on that side of the race course. And I'm wondering if he could start to become a last-minute threat against our long-time leader in this race, Yannis Maus, who's in a battle with Martin Dolenz.
Yes, exactly. I guess that they will, yes, he just stuck. So now he's on starboard. Maybe he realized himself on the ley line. It seems to be quite fast. So he went a little bit upper than the ley line to go for a maximum VMG to the mark. And it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be really close. Look.
It is super close. It's really tightened up right now. But it looks like Yannis Maus is just about doing enough to hold on. Very, very close. These guys have to remind themselves it doesn't matter if you win, you've just got to be in the top two. So if Martin Dolenz and Yannis Maus just work together, they can book their 2 spots, and it looks like it is going to be Germany's Yannis Maus, Croatia's Martin Dolenz, who get the top 2 spots through. And then Cameron Meromenides, so close. What an amazing final windward leg for the Greek, who started so poorly and must be kicking himself, wondering what he might have achieved if he managed to get off the start line in better shape. And Flo Gruber, the golden ticket winner earlier in the day, well, he ends up bringing the rear in 4th place. That's Flo Gruber there. He believes he's done enough to get 5th overall in the KiteFoil World Series across 2024, but no doubt he'll be disappointed not to be able to go further in this competition. And there's confirmation of those places. Maus and Dolenz going through to the next round. We see 2 types of foil, 2 types of kite being used in that race, and Cameron Meromenides with his element kite making a really strong charge towards the end, but the Greek just missing out on grabbing one of those vital 2 spots into the quarterfinal. So there you have it. Quick break. We'll be back to you shortly. So the men get a brief opportunity to come ashore, regroup and regather, work out whether they want to change kite size or any other equipment before they go back out to compete in the quarterfinal. Next up is going to be our women's quarterfinal. That's Cameron Maramonides. I don't know if I'm reading too much into body language, but maybe a little bit disappointed, a bit of a shake of the head there. We'll have to find out later why he was late for the start, but what a great comeback he had on that final windward leg, and obviously going fast, but just didn't quite put it together tactically for the start. We're on board there with the race committee boat. We've got 2 minutes 30 to the women's quarterfinal, and we're going to be seeing Israel's Maya Ashkenazi, Italy's Tiana Laporte go up against our two qualifiers from the repechage, Mafalda Pires de Lima from Portugal and Karolina Jankowska from Poland. A quick break and we'll be back to you very soon. "50 seconds to the start," and I know that generally, Mirko, you favour the right-hand side based on what you saw just then. I suppose you're not going to change your mind, are you?
No, I don't change my mind. And as you see, Cameron Maramonides, he just tacking after rounding mark on the bottom mark, and all the way to the right side, he went just 10 meter behind Martin Dolenj, and he was quite far away from him just doing the rounding mark. So for sure, the right side, it was the right choice to do.
12 seconds to the start. Looks like everyone is lining up for a starboard tack this time.
Yeah, but why I see 5 kite on that one, really difficult to get it.
I think a couple of those kites are the men waiting to get started on the next race.
Yeah, they were just close. So all of them on starboard, on the left side of the course, we have 2 fly surfer. Let's say the older version.
So Maya Ashkenazi looking good in the early stages. Karolina Jankowska right behind her. Further off to leeward on the left-hand side, Tiana Laporte and Mafalda Pires de Lima also in the running in the early stages, but it looks like Maya Ashkenazi doing well at the moment.
She has a really good angle, controlling Mafalda and Carolina just a little bit behind. Looking on speed, in terms of speed, only Mafalda and Maya Ashkenazi, they are pretty close between each other. And
Tiana Laporte
just
tacking.
Yeah.
And
all of them.
At the moment, the front two are Maya Ashkenazi and Mafalda Pires de Lima. Top left of the last screen, and there we are looking at our 2 leaders. The POR on the kite of Pires de Lima, one of the kites that she would have used at the Olympic Games. And you've got old and new fly surfer technology there. What do you see in the differences there from that angle, Mirko?
Not really. They are really fast, and I'm really happy. Look at Mafalda, the position with the, let's say, older kite, older version compared to the new one. But as we spotted yesterday, as far as they are using smaller size and the wind is picking up, then the difference in terms of performance are less.
Yeah, yeah. The breeze is picking up, isn't it? You can really see that in that image there, just off the edge of Poeto Beach. The water is darkened, the wind is picking up, and yeah, maybe it doesn't matter so much higher up the wind range, but certainly Maya Ashkenazi does marginally have the advantage over Pires de Lima using the older kite right now. Coming towards the top mark, very, very close between the front two, Israel and Portugal holding the top two places, which is the critical factor that you need to get through to the next round, the semi-finals being the next round after this.
Yeah, and it's really nice when they have the kite fully powered. You can see that they keep the bar really close to the body, and they can get deeper angle on the downwind leg, because they have the 15 with this kind of wind that we have now, which is for sure more than 14 to 15 knots. Then definitely the 15 is quite full.
So simultaneous jibes there with Ashkenazi defending her lead against Mafalda Pires de Lima, but more importantly for them, a big gap back to the third place rider. That's a close battle between Jankowska and Laporte. Laporte actually going very fast down the right-hand side of the racetrack. Laporte actually got the highest speed on the racecourse right now, so I think there is a gust coming in from the right-hand side of the racecourse. Laporte almost putting herself back in contention. We can't see her in this image yet, but you can expect to see Laporte come into view fairly soon, because she's not that far. The Italian's not that far behind these two leaders right now. There's Laporte just coming in, just at the back of the picture on the right-hand side. So Laporte had a really good run there, went round the outside of... Oh, what did you see?
No, I see when she jibed, probably it was really, like you said, the big gust, and the tip, both tips of the kite just folded, and for sure now she will lose a little bit, because she have to go downwind again. Put the tips on the right position to get control, and then rounding mark.
So from such a good gain in such a short space of time, suddenly that challenge from Laporte fell apart, and Laporte now some way back again. So the top two can probably breathe a little bit easier again. Ashkenazi still leading Pires de Lima out towards the left-hand side. Tiana Laporte tacks away, and you might as well do that. You might as well, in fact, might as well go to the favourite side of Mirko and Cameron Marimonides. We saw how well that worked for Marimonides on the previous race, so why not just go straight round the mark and bang right? But Jankowska at the back is following the rest out to the left-hand side, and I don't see the point of doing that. That you're not going to overtake the leaders by playing follow the leader. You might as well try something different.
Yes, exactly. I would say Mafalda and Maya, they are safely covering first and second spot. They know...
Oh, but hang on. Brief splash down there. That's Maya Ashkenazi. So that could well mean she loses the lead, but the more important thing for Ashkenazi is that she doesn't lose second place.
Yeah.
But right now it looks like Mafalda Pires de Lima will be able to take advantage of that slip by the Israeli, and it will be Portugal who moves into the lead. But it's just a little reminder that nothing is ever secure or safe in this form of high-speed foiling. Just one splashdown, one crash, and things can change very, very quickly.
Yes, exactly, for sure. Tiana just tacking back to starboard, on the last upwind beat. Let's see the gain between Mafalda and Maya, not far away. They went quite up to the ley line just to cover themselves. I don't know if Tiana, she has the space to squeeze between them, and still rounding Mark from leeward, but she's really close. Yeah,
So
1, 2, 3.
very, very close indeed, isn't it? And so,
And Mafalda, she's leading now.
and not far to the finish now. Mafalda Perez de Lima in the lead, very close behind. It's Maya Ashkenazi and oh, who's that?
Tiana, she was pushing because she was not far away from them. So I guess that she was, okay, let's try. And she just pushed it too much and she fly away.
So she might as well have pushed as hard as she could. And that was a great comeback by Tiana Laporte. But in the end, that crash put pay to her efforts to challenge the front two. So it's Mafalda Perez de Lima who goes through, winning that race ahead of Israel's Maya Ashkenazi. So what a great run of knockout races for the Portuguese rider, who worked through from the repechage, has now gone through past the quarterfinals and finds her way into the semi-final. So congratulations to Perez de Lima and to Ashkenazi, our qualifiers from the quarterfinal women. Okay, quick ad, back to you shortly. So next up is going to be our men's quarterfinal, when we're going to see four riders: Riccardo Pianozzi from Italy, Martin Dolenz from Croatia, Yanis Maus from Germany, and Conor Bainbridge competing against each other. We got 3 minutes to the start. Yanis Maus, he's taking time out to do a PhD. Let's have a look at where Yanis's life is going at the moment, and then we will come back to you for the final minute into this start.
So we finished the Olympics at the 8th of August, and basically then I went back home after, of course, all the amazing experiences that we gathered with the closing ceremony. And immediately on the 1st of September I went back to the university and went straight into my studies, into the PhD on wind energy. I've always been included with the scientific world. Before I was fully focusing on the kiting, I finished my master's degree also in the wind energy sector. And basically in the working group that I'm working at, they really wanted to keep me and motivate me to do the PhD also in their group. Study that in the wind tunnel. We have it in the north of Germany, and we have a pretty big wind tunnel. I have 2 years of something little different to do, so I went full on with the kiting, but I was always sure that after the Olympics I definitely needed something different, something for my brain again, to activate things. What I'm doing in my PhD is to find better ways to handle these big gusts, these big wind changes, and how to optimize wind parks and like renewable energies concerning these atmospheric conditions. My goal is really to have Germany as the top or one of the top countries in 2028. So if it's me or if it's the young gun Jan Wöster or anybody else, I would love to be involved in the journey towards the LA.
Do you hope to come back to Los Angeles 2028?
Probably that would be my dream to actually go to LA in 2028 as Dr. Mouse.
So the future Dr. Yanis Mouse, one of the 4 competitors in this men's quarterfinal, the others being Martin Dolenc from Croatia, Italy's Riccardo Pianozzi, and Great Britain's Conor Bainbridge. And so a range of different kites and equipment, but actually none of that stuff probably really matters on a day like today, Mirko. It's mostly about going the right way. Which is the right way to go?
I think maybe change. It can be the right side.
Well, again, we saw Tiana Laporte make a really good comeback, the Italian rider, just now almost getting back into the front too. And it seems like on that second windward leg that if you're behind, it's a great strategy to break out to the right-hand side. 5 seconds to go, and they are just about to kick off this high-speed exit out of the start. The battle between Conor Bainbridge, Riccardo Pianozzi, Martin Dolenc and Yanis Mouse begins.
So 3 on starboard, only 1 on port.
And I think it's Yanis Mouse and that clear start that has decided to go out to the right-hand side. So we already seen Yanis Mouse make good use of the right-hand side of this race course. Let's see what the German can do up against Croatia, Italy and Great Britain, who are charging out to the left-hand side. And in these early stages, it looks like Conor Bainbridge, the left of your picture, has marginally the better of it compared with Dolenc in the middle and Pianozzi on the right.
So Pianozzi is the one with the black kite all the way leeward to...
And that's an element kite, I think, is it? So
yep.
Pianozzi switching between fly surfer and element kites, keen to use the opportunity of the KiteFoil World Series to try out everything and anything. There's no measurement here. There are no restrictions on how much equipment. You can try everything. You can change kite from a race to race.
Yeah, as you can see, we have 3 different kites. We have ozone for Bainbridge and a fly surfer and an element.
And on the far side, another fly surfer being used by Yanis Mouse. And we see Yanis Mouse on the right of screen, but it doesn't look good for Mouse based on what I see there. But let's see how things actually shape up when they do converge.
Yes, exactly. Yanis is already on starboard, on the ley line, going really fast. As you can see, look at the wind. And as far as you're getting closer to the top mark, the sea is really flat, super flat, and you start to get really strong gust. But the first one is Conor,
followed by Martin Dolenc.
Yeah.
Followed by Riccardo Pianozzi and the port tacker, Yanis Mouse. Well, on this occasion, Mirko, maybe the first time today, the right-hand side really hasn't worked very well.
This is why I wasn't not that sure to say right. I was more laughing because the wind now is start to getting better and better and stronger. So it's bending better to the left side, and it might not be the patch like before. It's less patchy. So using and considering the bending of the wind, now it starts to be quite even, I would say, the course on left, on right.
What would you say was the wind speed right now?
More than 15 knots, pretty sure. We didn't get any wind reading from the committee boat so far, but I would say for sure not less than 15.
Well, they're doing about just a little bit over 35 knots of speed going downwind, so some pretty impressive speeds, but not quite up to the 39.7 that we saw yesterday, so not quite as windy as the 11 square meter use of kites that we saw. Now it is still very, very close coming down to the bottom between these three. It's still Bainbridge, but only just in the lead of Dolence, only just in the lead of Pianozzi. And I wonder if this is an opportunity for Yanis Mouse to take advantage of this three-way match race going on in front of him. Look how close it is, and no one can afford to take their foot off the gas. This is super close. Mirko, we're seeing these three different types of kite. What differences in behavior do you see with the kites?
Well, honestly, those kites are all the new generation of kite.
Whoa, splash down.
Yeah, for Pianozzi. I mean, he's behind, so for sure he will feel some turbulence on the air. This is why he decided to go on an early tack. All of them, it seems that they are using same line length, and the kite is really stable. It's just a battle between them. It's not about equipment. Definitely, 99% the difference is by the athletes.
So very, very close with these three at the moment. Bainbridge still leading. I wonder if Yanis Mouse can take advantage of this three-way battle that we're witnessing here between Bainbridge, Dolence and Pianozzi. There in the front of the picture, there was Max Mader, just getting ready for the finals a little bit later on. And our front three charging upwind towards the top of the course. Britain's Conor Bainbridge with a marginal advantage ahead of Croatia's Martin Dolence, and Riccardo Pianozzi just needing to break into that top two, because otherwise the Italian is not going to be going any further forward in the competition. Simultaneous tacks, the ozone of Bainbridge on the left leading. And Mirko, what are you seeing between the next two?
No, I mean, this is the last...
Yanis Mouse just tacking in behind. He's in fourth, but it's not going to be enough for Yanis Mouse to go any further forwards.
No.
Bainbridge in second, Bainbridge in first, Dolence in second, Pianozzi pushing hard in third. But it's going to be Great Britain and Croatia who just managed to get the two spots through. Well, what do you think? I wonder if Pianozzi did enough at the end.
I think Martin was the second. Martin was second, and Pianozzi was just charging him until the finish line. But I think it was not enough.
And Bainbridge looking pretty happy to have come through that in first place and definitely secure. And as Mirko just said, we think it is Martin Dolence that got the second spot, which means that Pianozzi and Mouse won't go any further in this competition. We will be back to you shortly. So We've just seen the men's quarterfinal. Now we are going to get into the semi-final stages of the racing, and we're going to start with the women's semi-final. So we've seen our qualifiers from the previous round. Israel's Maya Ashkenazi and Portugal's Mafalda Perez de Lima go through, and they're going to be joining another Israeli, Gail Zuckerman, and Italy's Maggie Pachetto. And what we're also hearing is that some of the women, such as Mafalda from Portugal, have changed down from their 15 to their 11 square meters. So it seems like we are getting into the 11 square meter range, Mirko.
Yes, we start seeing more white caps when we look into the camera. So for sure the wind will increase, will not definitely go on the opposite way. This is the time of the day where also yesterday it started to blow more and more. So it's the right choice to do. 11 square meter is the right one. I'm wonder if they're gonna go with the 11 also the men later on.
Yeah. What are the pros and cons, the advantages, disadvantages of going small early?
No, the problem mainly is for the downwind leg. If you are under power with the 11, on the upwind part doesn't make a lot of difference. You can still play, but on the downwind, if you are not fully powered, you can't get the speed and the deep into the downwind legs. So it's really important to have a proper kite, and better if it's bigger for gaining on the downwind, because the upwind you can manage somehow. So this is why it's important. And then also we saw it how if you go deep, how much you can gain on the downwind leg. So again, always important to make the right call.
So there's the situation on Poeto Beach. A certain amount of activity, some packing up their kites because they're going no further in the competition, and others still getting ready for these final stages. And well, we wait and see who manages to come out of this group of 4 in the women, and who will be joining Jessie Catman and Elena Lengvila in the final. Catman and Lengvila already having points on the board, whereas whoever qualifies through from this single race semi-final is going to have to win 3 races in the final. We'll go to another ad break and we'll be back to you soon.
Look at the images, Sella del Diavolo in its beauty behind the race course. We can see the finish boat and a lot of activities here in Poeto Bay. We can see KiteFoil, old windsurfer LT. I mean, the new generation of the old windsurfer, sailing boat, canoe, kayak, surf ski, wing. Who else we can say?
Yeah, so many different ways of having fun on the water here out of Poeto Beach. We have got about 2.5 minutes to the start of this next race. This is going to be the women's quarter-final. It will be our first opportunity to see Gal Zuckerman from Israel and Maggie Pichetto from Italy going up against our qualifiers through from the quarter-final, Maya Ashkenazi of Israel and Mafalda Pires de Lima of Portugal. And Mirko, we see Israel doing pretty well in the board sports. They got a gold and a silver in the windsurfing at the Olympics, and also running strong in the boards as well, which actually is not so different from Italy, also strong in the board sports in Italy.
Yeah, I think it's a part of the culture. Like in Italy, also in Israel, there have been really, in the past, a huge team, a big community of windsurfer. And they just keep rolling on, and they all love, because they have the great condition in Israel for a strong wind, nice beaches, and they like to compete. And also all the team has been always really well structured science, many years, many Olympic cycle. This is why I guess they have always, every cycle, some new and good athletes, and they take it serious.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is a serious business these days. There's also going to be 2 minutes to start. We've just seen that. There's going to be some sad people coming back from Barcelona to Cagliari, because this is the base for the America's Cup team, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. When do you think they will start trickling back to Cagliari?
I think it will take some time. They have a lot of stuff. I mean, here is pretty empty, the base in Cagliari. It will take quite a while before they start packing and start moving back. Maybe they will, most of them, they will stay in Barcelona and looking also the final part of the America's Cup, because what I understand from yesterday in a couple of interviews, they will not shut the door. I mean, Luna Rossa program, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, it seems that they go all the way forward, and just to get ready for another challenge in the future. And that's the way to do.
Well, and Jimmy Spithill sounding like he's going to step back from being a helmsman next time round. The way he was talking, it sounds like he was going to hang up his helmet and let the younger generation come through. So it's something we were talking about yesterday. But let's come back. We've got 35 seconds to the start of this women's semi-final, and now we've got two Israelis, Maya Ashkenazi and Gal Zuckerman, on the start line, lining up against Italy's Maggie Pichetto and Portugal's Mafalda Pires de Lima. 20 seconds to go. It looks like it's going to be all four starting on starboard. Not something we've seen so far, Mirko.
No, that's the first time that all four, they decided to go on starboard. Maybe, as we said before, the wind is picking up, and it seems to be pretty windy on the left side of the course. That it gives you the opportunity to hit the, let's say, the flatter part of the bay, of the racing area sooner. So before, maybe it was better to go to the right side because there was more wind, also if it was more choppy. But now they all go to the left side because it's windy and flat, so they can get, and they can keep a really good angle and a good speed.
So let's talk you through who we've got. In front of picture, at the bottom of your screen, Israel's Maya Ashkenazi, then Israel's Gal Zuckerman with the black kite, then Maggie Pichetto, and just tacking away out to the right-hand side, Mafalda Pires de Lima from Portugal, also being followed by Pichetto. So it's Italy and Portugal going out to the right, and Israel, the two Israeli riders in front of our screen, going out to the left. But now we see Maya Ashkenazi tack behind Gal Zuckerman. So Zuckerman being the last to tack with her black and red element kite on this side of the race course.
Yes, Gal Zuckerman decided to tack as a last. She's the one with the black kite. black element kite. Still gusty. When there is a big gust, you can see how shaky is the kite, and the the rider has to control the kite by shooting in, shooting out the bar to keep the right angle of the board. She's really in high mode now.
And trying to push as high as they can, because the Israelis don't seem to have as good a wind angle as the two on the far right-hand side, who are still on the same tack. Everyone's on port tack, but Pichetto in particular and also Mafalda have found a better lineup there. And I wonder when they tack back if it's going to be Portugal and Italy tacking in front of the Israelis.
Yes, exactly. Maggie got he got the right things to tack on the center. So did you see now? They almost did part on starboard, all the way stay on the center of the course, and then right side again. So Pechetto is leading. She's rounding the mark for first. Just following by Mafalda.
Both of them using older generation fly surfer kites and proving that having the latest gear on a day like today is not really the most important factor. It's going the right way up this really tricky race course. And I think something might have happened to Maya Ashkenazi. She might have had a touchdown because this looks like the only Israeli that's pushing the front two is Gal Zuckerman. So at the moment, things looking fairly secure for Pichetto from Italy in the lead, and Perez de Lima, who remember has come through from the repechage through the quarterfinals and is now looking like she might be on her way to grabbing a spot in the final.
Yes, would be nice to have both of them into the grand final together with Jess Camp and Elena Lengwiller.
From this angle, it looks like Gal Zuckerman still has a sniff of getting into the front two, but that could just be the angles that we're seeing here.
Yeah, she's more windward to them.
Yeah, from this angle, you can see clearly that Pichetto, who's just jibed, has quite a healthy lead on Perez de Lima, who's jibing now, who in turn has a pretty healthy lead on Gal Zuckerman with the black kite. So Pichetto ran gust, and Gal Zuckerman has closed the gap a little bit on Perez de Lima. This is the Portuguese Perez de Lima going round the bottom of the course now. And Gal Zuckerman not that far behind. So Pichetto looking fairly secure in the lead, but the Portuguese rider having to be wary of the black kite of Gal Zuckerman, who's really made a nice rounding round the bottom of the course. So Zuckerman could well get back into the top two here.
Yeah, meanwhile, it played really well for Maggie because now Mafalda, she's just looking back, keep looking back, because Gal Zuckerman will for sure try to get in closer to her. Look, she's doing quite a really great angle upwind. So when they're gonna attack, it will be a cross between each other. Because she has to
avoid the starboard tacker.
Right way, yeah.
So yeah, that was a bit punchy by Perez de Lima to tack where she did.
Yeah.
And she didn't really think that through. And
I think she thought that she got the time to go in front of it, but this is why Gal, she started to go more higher and higher to just get that crossing.
And that's one of the, as well as sailing a really nice exit out of the leeward mark, what we're hearing about the new gear is that it does enable you to point higher as well as go faster. So having that slight higher pointing edge of the new equipment was maybe partly what delivered that great tactical position for the Israeli rider Gal Zuckerman, who's now up into second place.
Yes, exactly. Well played by Gal, for sure. And again, that was the right thing for Maggie, because then without having any mistake, she can secure her lead and she's really close to the windward mark for the last time and the last beat to the finish line, which will secure her spot on the grand final.
So congratulations to Italy's recent Olympic representative Maggie Pescetto, who manages to secure first place in the semis and is now going through to the next round. And Gal Zuckerman is going to come across the line in second after executing that really good leeward mark rounding that put her in the position to be able to go past Mafalda Perez de Lima, who was flustered for a moment, had to splash down, and unfortunately that great run by Perez de Lima has come to an end, and the Portuguese rider has to pack up while Zuckerman will go through, taking the second spot. And Maya Ashkenazi, after a nice start, finishes some way distance back in fourth place. Okay, quick break, back to you soon.
So we have Benoit Gomez and Gianandrea Stragiotti in this one. Martin Dolan and Conor Bainbridge.
So this is how things are shaping up. We've got Conor Bainbridge and Martin Dolence going through to join Benoit Gomez and Gian Stragiotti in the semi-final. So now Benoit Gomez has just seen his girlfriend Gal Zuckerman grab the second spot in the semi-final. How will Benoit be able to do? We've got another battle between 3 different types of kite and 2 different types of foil, and it's Gian Stragiotti representing Levitas against the Chubanga foils, and it's Stragiotti and Dolence on the fly surface. So a range of equipment, but as we've just seen, Maggie Pescetto winning with old generation equipment. There's, yes, going fast is always a help, and that helped Gal Zuckerman grab that second spot ahead of Mafalda Perez de Lima, but probably the bigger factor is sailing the right way up this really tricky race course. We'll go to a quick break. Back to you soon. 1 minute 15 to the start of the next race. This is going to be the men's semi-final with France's Benoit Gomez, Croatia's Martin Dolenz, Great Britain's Conor Bainbridge, and the young 17-year-old Jan Stragiotti from Switzerland, who was such a standout performer yesterday, pushing the Singaporean Max Mader so hard in the early races yesterday, just missing out in the first race to Mader, finishing second to Mader, but then winning the next race against Mader. So Jan Stragiotti only just turned 17, but knows that on his day, he's increasingly proving that he can go up against the senior riders, such as he's going to be competing against in this race now. 30 seconds to go. And normally we'd see Benoit Gomez lining up for a port tack start in a big fleet race. Let's see what Gomez decides to do this time round. He does love a port tack start. So we see 3 riders in picture there. 8 seconds to go.
3 on starboard and 1 on port.
And off they go. Fast start. And Bainbridge, Dolenz and Stragiotti out to the left-hand side. And lo and behold, starting behind the rest of the fleet, it's France's Benoit Gomez with his Element kite. So let's see what Benoit Gomez can make of the right-hand side of the racetrack. It's a bit of a gamble. At the moment, Gomez looks pretty high on angle. So in these early stages, it looks like Gomez might be doing quite well. It's a clear start, but best of the starboard tackers, it is Stragiotti. So Jan Stragiotti just ahead of Conor Bainbridge's red Ozone kite, and then tacking to leeward. First to tack on to port of these 3, it's Martin Dolenz of Croatia. Very even between Bainbridge now tacking, and now Jan Stragiotti also in a position where he can tack. But very fast tack by Conor Bainbridge from Great Britain.
Yeah, I'm curious to see when we will start to have a look on the black kite coming all the way from the upper side.
These 3, Dolenz, Bainbridge and Stragiotti, not much to choose between them right now. It looks like Bainbridge has got a slightly higher angle. I don't know actually. I think Stragiotti pretty much holding his own against Bainbridge.
Yeah, really depends. The angle, I don't see. Okay, that's there.
Looks like Benoit Gomez is going to be close with the others. Just about to find out how is Gomez doing against the guys coming in from the port side. It looks like Gomez's gamble on starboard out to the right-hand side has paid off. It looks like Gomez could just be getting to the front here. Very, very close between the front 4. Look at them. Absolutely. This is what we want to see.
Exactly. It's a really great semi-final. It's going to be really, really important to find a clear angle with the right gust behind you. You can see, you can really spot the gust for the downwind.
And the fact that Gomez was he was on the outside, he had to wait for the others to jibe, and the others jibed as early as they did because they could feel this gust from the right-hand side. And look how much Gomez lost in such a short space of time. So from looking like he got round in first place, Gomez never got into a good tactical position to dictate his own terms. And it was the guys that came round the inside of the turn that were in a position to take an early jibe, and that's translated into quite a lot of distance in a short space of time. It's Jan Stragiotti currently in the lead. So Stragiotti marginally in front of Dolenz, but Bainbridge not far back. That's Bainbridge on the right of our screen now. So Bainbridge currently won't be going through to the finals. It's going to be these 2, Stragiotti and Dolenz, as things stand. But you can see that Bainbridge is not far behind, and Benoit Gomez is not far behind either. Benoit Gomez, yes, he's dropped back to last, but Gomez, if he's sensible, will tack out and try something different in the opposite direction. And that's what he's doing. Gomez taken an early tack out to the right. Might as well try something different. Big header for the leaders. That's why they're tacking. Gomez has already tacked, but simultaneous tacks now. So very, very close still between Stragiotti on the left, Dolence on the right, and just to leeward further up your screen is the red kite of Conor Bainbridge. And on the far right, top of picture, there we have him, Benoit Gomez, the first to tack out to the right-hand side, and why wouldn't he? He might as well have a go and see if he can find something different to haul himself back into contention, because remember, out of this battle of 4, only 2 are going to go through into the men's final, and it's very, very close between all 4 of them right now.
And now it's going to be really important to round Mark as a in front as a first, because then the short bit to go to the finish line. So Benoit is little bit windward to them, so he will definitely go for maximum speed.
If these guys have judged their ley line, then Benoit's gone too far. But let's see where this mark appears. It's all about who's made a good ley line judgment call on the windward mark. So Benoit Gomez, maybe he's overtacked it. It looks like Stragiotti, the way they're sailing, Stragiotti and Bainbridge, I think. So let's see, yeah, Stragiotti is around, so it's Stragiotti leading. Bainbridge has got himself up into second. Dolence chasing in third. Gomez also chasing. Pushing hard, but it's going to be the youngest of all of them, the 17-year-old from Switzerland, Jan Stragiotti, who books his place in the final, followed by Great Britain's Conor Bainbridge. And disappointment for Benoit Gomez and Martin Dolence in the closest race we've seen so far. And my, oh my, Jan Stragiotti, winner of a race yesterday, now winning this critical race today, carries the Swiss 17-year-old into the final, along with Great Britain's Conor Bainbridge. What a thriller. Can't wait to see the final up against Max Mader and Axel Mazzella a little bit later on this afternoon. Quick break, back to you soon. Right, so what a thrilling semi-final we saw just then. Now we are getting into the finals for the women, and it's a change of pace because now it's all about winning races. It's not about being conservative and just making sure you're in the top half of the fleet. It's about making sure that you actually cross the finish line in first place, because nothing else matters in the final. And yeah, Mirko and I are sitting in a container on Poeto Beach, and we've narrowly avoided an encounter with a bloke selling hats on the beach. He's prepared to sell hats to anybody, no matter how busy they are. So luckily he's moved along the beach a little bit from now. Here are our finalists, and we've got Jessie Campman on 2 points. She's on match point, the French rider. Elena Lengwiller from Switzerland on 1 win so far. And our qualifiers through from the earlier rounds, Italy's Maggie Pichetto and Israel's Gail Zuckerman. And really nice graphics put together by our resident photographer, Robert Hajduk. So thank you, Robert, for that beautiful graphic. And there are our 4 women that we're going to see competing very shortly. Mirko, we've seen a great level of progress by Elena Lengwiller from Switzerland, from not being able to do the basics of kiteboarding a couple of years ago to learning how to jibe during the course of last year, learning how to maneuver, and then from early on this year proving to be very fast and was a threat for actually possibly even getting a medal at the Olympic Games. So really good progress from Elena Lengwiller.
She was already into the sport and coming from a different sport, but with from an high level profile, it makes the difference always.
But it's Jessie Campman from France who is on match point. Jessie Campman, if she wins this race coming up in 1:40, then that's game over for the women's competition. And it would be the second event that Jessie Campman would win, having won in Austria just a month or so ago. So Jessie Campman really has had a very good season, apart from the fact that she didn't get to go to the Olympic Games. She ran Lauriane Nolot close for Olympic selection, but it was Nolot who went to the Games for France and got the Olympic silver medal. And Jessie Campman looking forward to taking a little bit of time out, working in a law firm in Cape Town in South Africa, just a few weeks after we are due to finish here in Calgary. So she's going to have a change of pace, but I'm sure she'd like to finish off her 2024 season by winning a race today and taking out the title of KiteFoil World Series Champion 2024. 38 seconds to the start, and we've seen success from both sides of the racecourse, but as it's got windier, it seems like the left-hand side has maybe got a little bit more reliable. We got 22 seconds to the start.
It seems they are all on starboard.
5 seconds to go, and as you say, Mirko, they're all going to start on starboard, and it looks like Gail Zuckerman's a little bit late into the committee boat end there, so maybe a bit of a slow start, but it's a clear start at least. But it's a good start for Jessie Campman, who has already taken an early lead in just the first 15 or 20 seconds of this race. And remember, if Jessie Campman with the yellow bib on the left of picture, if she wins this race, it's game over. It's the title going towards Jessie Campman. So it's important for one of the other 3 to be able to take the fight to the French rider. And Italy and Switzerland tacking out to the right-hand side behind the rest of them. Gail Zuckerman chasing hard with the black kite with the red stripes. That's the Israeli rider. It's got a slightly higher angle than our leader, Jessie Campman. I don't know if Jessie would feel able to tack in that position, but Zuckerman is getting really good high angles with element kite, and that's what gave her the advantage against Mafalda Perez de Lima in one of the earlier races. And it was Gail Zuckerman who tacked first and was able to dictate when Jessie Campman was able to tack. So good attacking manoeuvre by Zuckerman. And meanwhile, out on the far side, we'll have to see how Pichetto and Lengwiller managed to do on the opposite side of the race course.
She's in front now, Jessie, with a different angle. With this distance, she can keep control also when Galaxy will start tacking.
Gal's certainly going quick though, isn't she? I mean, it's quite similar, but now will they be able to get back across the starboard tackers? There's Lengvila on starboard.
They will be all of four pretty close each other. All of four pretty close.
And as you say, certainly there's three in the battle here, but Jessie Campman crucially is in the lead, and if it were to stay that way, we're not going to see any further racing. It's going to be Jessie Campman taking out the title in one go. They're on their 11 square meters, or certainly Campman is. I'm not sure about Lengvila, but Campman and Zuckerman on their 11 square meters. So there's a lot of breeze, beautiful view back to Poeto Beach. Lengvila, the first of the top three to jibe away. Campman there still on starboard jibe with her fly surfer kite, doing just over 30 knots of speed downwind. And stretching away from Zuckerman. Got a little bit more pace downwind, I would say.
Yeah, but the problem is the Elena, she went on the other side. Okay, she did the right things.
But she looks a long way back now, doesn't she?
Yeah, but look at the gas.
That's
on the
true.
Other side. And this kind of gas will allow her to go way deeper, and she will gain, definitely gain.
And you can really see that now. You can see that the yellow fly surfers are really coming down on a deeper angle towards the red kite of Jessie Campman.
But we know that Jessie, she's really, really good on the downwind. And she's not afraid at all on going fast. This is really something special for her.
Jessie Campman pushing down towards the bottom of the race course. Red kite just coming down into the power zone again, so she might have given away a little bit of distance towards the chasing pack, but it's still enough to keep Jessie Campman in the lead. Jessie Campman back up onto the upwind leg again, and with quite a healthy lead, so this could be it. This could be the women's final done and dusted in one race, the way things are going right now.
Do you see Gal? She had to do a couple of jibe, and now she went into four. So Elena, she's going way lower as a angle.
And this is what we hear about old versus new kite, is that old kites give you higher pointing angle towards the wind on the upwind legs. And Lengvila using one of the older fly surfer kites, so maybe her VMG, her velocity made good, is not quite as strong as it could be. At the moment, Campman's certainly going very quick with that new red fly surfer. Yellow bib, yellow helmet, firing up wind on port tack and on quite a good lift close to the left-hand ley line. So the others really starting to rely on an error from Jessie Campman, because there's not many tactical advantages in order to be able to overtake the French rider. It looks more and more like Jessie Campman is going to take out the title here in Sardinia.
Yeah, now she's safe. She's in a really good position, heading on the right angle and closing the, as far as it will close to the ley line on the right side of the course, last tack and all the way through the final leg. But who knows? She's pushing a lot. You can see the position, and the board is really low. Okay, we saw hitting the ley line, and
that should be the last tack of this competition for Jessie Campman, because no one's managed to get close to the French rider on this final windward leg to the top of the course. Jessie Campman going full bore towards the finish line, and the finish line just a moment away for Jessie Campman from France, who takes out the title in Sardinia. Congratulations to Jessie Campman, winner of both events in the KiteFoil World Series 2024, which makes her the winner in Sardinia and makes her the world champion, her first ever world title in kiteboarding. So congratulations to Jessie Catman. Absolutely standout performance by her.
Great job for Jessie. She kept the lead, and we saw the red beep from Maggie Pescetto crossing in second.
So we find out what the other positions were, but the most important one of all,
Yes,
giving her on the water curtsy. She's so humble. Jessie Cameron's not one for showing off. She goes about her racing with great humility and great dignity. But you can tell that Jessie Catman is super happy that she's taken out the title here in Sardinia for the first time, and for the first time ever, she becomes KiteFoil Series world champion.
Exactly. Well done.
A
It
new
seems
name.
that they're chatting quite a lot. They are all happy in the water.
That's great to see.
Yeah.
So, a quick ad, and we will be back to you soon for the men's final. So we've got the men's final to go. We've just seen the women's final decided, and Jessie Catman, she's very humble. She doesn't like to crow. She's no flippity gibbet about such things. She lets her kiting do the talking, and congratulations to Jessie winning her first ever major world title in the world of kiteboarding. And so that'll be a new name being engraved on the bottom of the trophy. And we wait and see which other name, the men's name, will be engraved from this year. The chalkographer has been a little bit remiss because Max Mader's name has yet to appear for winning last year on 2023. So Max Mader will be hoping that the chalkographer will be able to engrave the same name twice for 2023 and 2024. There we have it. The last year's winner, Max Mader, in pole position. Three-time winner of the KiteFoil World Series, Axel Mazzella. He's coming through into this final in second place with one win on the board. And then the young whippersnapper, the upstart, Jan Stragiotti. Will he be able to get past the other two? And, well, at the moment, he's in a podium position, but he's also got to beat Connor Bainbridge from Great Britain, who takes the fourth and final spot in the semi-final. So what can Jan Stragiotti achieve this week? He's done so much already. We've got less than 2 minutes to go. And Mirko, I know that you're quite macrosmatic for the right-hand side of the race course, but we've seen you've got some Agastopia for the left as we've gone further into the windier part of the later part of the afternoon.
Yeah, as far as the wind is getting stronger, so up to 15 knots, then it's getting more even, and you know, the mixology of all the wind between the right and the left now is less and less because there is more wind everywhere. So let's see if it pay on for the winner now, and then all of us go for a vodka shot.
I'm sure we'll find time for that in Kellery later on this evening. And I know that once you've had your first, you tend to go a bit berserk. But we'll see if you can control yourself this evening, Mirko.
Yeah.
We got 40 seconds to go. We've got the wind gusting across the course, and I didn't get a chance to see what kite size the men have opted for. Do you think they might have gone as low as the 11 meter? We'll find out. We've got 20 seconds to go. And now I'm really intrigued to see what Jan Stragiotti can achieve against the three more experienced men in this final. Axel Mazzella, the most experienced of all. 4 seconds to go, and they're all going to start on starboard, and they're off. This is the start of the men's final. Will Max Mader be able to emulate what Jesse Campman did? Can the yellow bib wearers see out the competition in just a single race? Let's find out.
Yes, and the good thing is a clear start.
That
Clear
is
start for all of them, all on starboard. I'm curious to see the first one that decided to tack and to the other side.
And Max Mader looking pretty strong top left right now, so he's had a good start. Axel Mazzella just behind him, pushing hard and trying to use that ozone kite. It looks like, to me, it looks like Mazzella's using, on the right of picture, using a slightly smaller kite than the others. I don't know. Well, I think we're seeing 15s in the middle of our picture now, but I think Mazzella might be on 11. He's just tacked away.
Yeah, for sure, him is one of the competitors that it might take the choice to go smaller before the other. Oof, we saw a crash. Ay, 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 ay.
I wonder who that was. I wonder if...
I just saw when it changed the images, I saw maybe it was just a splash during attack. Yeah.
Very, very close right now with Mader leading this bunch of three. Stragiotti just slightly to windward and actually looking like he's got a really good line there. And Connor Bainbridge slightly on the back foot. Bainbridge, the last of those three. And meanwhile, on the far side, the first attack out was Axel Mazzella, who I think might be on 11 square meter.
We will notice once they will be on the downwind.
Mazzella first attack from the right-hand side, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. I wonder, I think Max Mader is going to be leading. There's a bit of a left-hand shift towards the top of the course, and Mazzella's missed out on that.
Oh, do you see again? It was really bad tack.
But a good rounding for Max Mader, just getting around ahead of Jan Stragiotti, who's having the week of his life. Stragiotti sailing so well, and at the moment, the biggest threat to Max Mader, who's looking in a good position to take out this title in one race, just as we saw Jesse Campman do with the women a few minutes earlier. But look at the gust that Connor Bainbridge has jibed away in behind them. We see this so often, Mirko. There tends to be a good gust on the right-hand side down these runs.
Yes, exactly. And they allow them to go all the way deeper and to gain more compared to the leader. But I'm really, really impressed by the speed and the way how Gianandrea Stragiotti is just changing completely himself from the last few events. Once he got the title on the Youth World in Gisteria, since then it just make a different mind setup. I'm really, really happy. I saw also him at the ISAF World in Garda and the Youth World, or sailing Youth World. It's really...
He's the real deal, isn't he? At senior level as well as youth level. But it's Max Mader, who, let's remember, has only just himself turned 18 years old. These two share the same birthday, in fact. Max Mader, born 12th of September, and Jan Stragiotti, born 12th of September. Stragiotti exactly a year younger than Max Mader. So it's the two September birthday boys that are first and second in this race right now. But it's the 18-year-old leading the 17-year-old. And if Max Mader from Singapore finishes first in this race, then just like Jesse Campman a few minutes ago in the women's final, Mader will be winning this title in Sardinia in a single race, and that will be the end of the competition. So it's really important for Stragiotti, Mazzella or Bainbridge to be able to get past Mader on this final upwind leg, and they're running out of time to do that. Max Mader to windward, the bottom of our screens with the yellow bib. He's got a marginal advantage over Jan Stragiotti, who is going fast in clear air. Stragiotti going slightly faster, going almost a knot quicker than Max Mader. So he's certainly got good speed, but Mader is in the controlling position tactically.
Yes, Max, for sure, he has the speed. You know, if he needs to push more, for sure he can do, he will do. Now, Jan is stacking and Max Mader just controlling him on the right position. He's looking behind. Like I said, I'm watching you.
Max Mader yesterday throwing some dummy tacks at his rivals like Cameron Maramonides, trying to get past, so using his chess moves as well as his raw speed. But yes, actually looks like they both slightly undertacked the ley line. Oh, and a splashdown. Oh, that's unfortunate for Jan Stragiotti. That's playing into the hands of Max Mader, who's about to go round the windward mark, and he's onto the final reach towards the finish. So it's another masterclass by the 18-year-old from Singapore, the Olympic bronze medalist from Paris 2024. The multiple champion will be adding another trophy to his cabinet. Max Mader, his traditional punching the air celebration. The masked raider from Singapore does it yet again, and we never know what he's thinking behind that mask, but surely there must be a grin as he spins his board into the sky. What an absolute fantastic performance by Max Mader, because he wasn't as dominant yesterday. He was one of 5 race winners that we saw yesterday, but today in the final, he's seen out the competition in a single go. But congratulations also to Jan Stragiotti, who has really stepped up a level this week.
Yes, again, I'm impressed by Jan Stragiotti, and also I'm impressed by Maximilian Mader, that he just nailed another title here in Cagliari in Poeto, which is used to be. But again, we can see the first one just nailed the third bullet, and it seems he's really happy about it.
Yeah, so made a lot of reasons to be happy. Mazzella, he's had a good week. He gets the silver medal. Okay, he won't win the KiteFoil World Series overall this year. That goes to Max Mader as well. So Jesse Campman and Max Mader, in winning the titles here in Sardinia, have also taken out the overall titles for 2024. So gold for Mader, silver for Mazzella, a wonderful bronze for Stragiotti, and Conor Bainbridge in 4th place. So we'll go to a quick ad break, and we will hope to get some interviews with our winners on the beach very shortly. Well done, Axel.
Thank you.
Well sailed this week. So that's Axel Mazzella, our silver medalist from France, 3-time former winner of the KiteFoil World Series, and just coming ashore now. Probably the two happiest. Okay, bronze medal, not as good as the silver, but for what Jan Stragiotti has achieved this week, the man in red, the 17-year-old, he's had an absolutely fantastic week. Let's see if we can get hold of Max Mader. I don't think I can run that fast. Okay, I'll see if I can get Max Mader in a moment. He's got a lot on because he's dropping his kite, so not the best time for me to be interrupting him, but we'll get hold of him fairly soon.
Yeah.
Max, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Andy. Hold on, let's get these.
Sure.
Let's get these all off.
Well, that was a short old trip out there, wasn't it? You saw that out pretty
Didn't
quickly.
feel short to me.
Oh no.
I felt like a while. Oh
It
my
was-
goodness.
It was gusty out there. What kite size choice did you go on?
15.
Okay, and did I see others going for the 11? Was Mazzella on a?
Yes,
11?
Mazzella was on 11.
Yeah. Anyway, it worked for you, but it looked really tricky. The wind was really gusting and pulsing, and looked pretty hard to read.
Oh yeah, it was indeed very hard to read, and I think I got quite lucky that Mazzella caught the wrong shift instead of the right shift. I was really contemplating whether I should go with him or not, but I guess sometimes you do need a little bit of fortune on your side sometimes, yeah.
Well, you've had a great season, but also Jan Stragiotti, what an amazing performance by him.
Yeah.
Exactly a year younger to the day.
Yeah,
You share the
day.
same birthday. So
We have the same birthday, and he's exactly a year younger than me, and I think personally he's the MVP of this event.
I almost agree with you. I mean, you have just won the gold, but what an amazing performance by Stragiotti.
Yeah, I really think he's the MVP of this event, and hats off to him. He was the one who shocked everyone, I think, and it definitely surprised me. And it's so fun to see, new people trying to gun for the top, and that makes it all the more exciting, doesn't it?
It's been an exciting year for you, for the whole sport. It's the first time that we've seen the sport in the Olympic Games. Thinking back to the start of the season, that must seem an eon ago. It must seem more than a year ago.
Oh yeah, it feels like 2 years ago. The start of the season feels like 2 years ago. So much has happened since then, and here we are. It's only been 10 months. That's crazy to me.
And you came back so soon after the Olympic Games. I thought you'd want to take more time out. When I said that to you in Austria, you said I've had my longest time out. I've had 28 days not kiting.
Yeah.
So you're straight back into campaigning again for Los Angeles.
I'm back into the sport. I don't, campaigning, I guess, is a part of it, but I came back because I love the sport and I love what it has brought to me and what it can bring to other people, and that's why I come back every time. And I guess campaigning is part of it, but I think the way I see it is back to the sport.
And we are back on Pareto Beach. This is one of our most popular spots for this sport. Can you remember how many times? Do you know what number this is for you?
3 or 4, I'm not too sure, something like that. So.
Oh, you're a relative newcomer. Okay.
Relatively, yeah, relatively.
Yeah. Anyway, you've shown that you can do it. You won here last year. I saw the chalkographer hasn't got round to putting your name on from last year, but now at least the chalkographer can put on 2 Max Maders at the same time onto that copper plate at the bottom of the trophy.
I guess so. Makes their job easier.
Yeah. Max, congratulations.
Thank you
See
very
you at
much
the
again.
prize giving.
Thank you.
Enjoy this evening, and we will catch up again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, looks like I got into a fight.
Oh my goodness.
Jesse Campman, congratulations.
I got it there.
Looks like he hit the right spot there,
Yeah.
Max Mader. I won't do the same. Jesse, you've had quite a past 12 months. A lot has happened coming back from major injury, just missing out on Olympic selection. But here you are now. You've won your first major world title in the sport. You must be super happy with what you've achieved here today.
Yeah, I'm really happy, and I think I'm even more happy that we had some really nice conditions during the week. Like, it changes to be on small kites, and it makes the game a bit like more fun. And yeah, I had a really good time.
You've had a huge selection of kites, quite a headache to work out which of your kites to put in the air for racing, I would have thought. But looking fast on those 11 square metre settings.
Yeah, no, today, I mean, it's quite flat here, so the speeds, we were looking at the guys' trackings and they were doing 28 knots upwind, which is a lot, and I think everyone was going really fast, and on the 11s it felt really good. In the finals for the girls, half of us were on the VMG2s and the other half on the Element or on the VMG3, so it was a bit of a mix between the new gear and the old gear. But yeah, it was really good fun, and hopefully we pushed some high speeds.
You sure did. You sure did. It absolutely barnstorming performance by you. But you're having a change of pace now. Tell us where you're going with your life for the next few months.
So I'm gonna go home after this and have a couple of weeks at home, and then I'm going to South Africa until the end of the year. I'll be doing an internship in a law firm, so I just want to get some legal experience and do something else in kiting and see what's out there other than just our little bubble, and yeah, just slowly prepare for the future and see if I like it.
I hope what you find is that it reinforces that your little bubble is exactly the right place to be in life, and that we'll see you running back with renewed vigour and enthusiasm to come round again and do another few years competing and campaigning on the circuit. How likely do you think that is?
Pretty likely. I think we've got a great life. We can't complain. We're on the water doing like what we love most of the year, and like there's nothing to complain about it. But like everything, I think if you have it in abundance, you take it for granted, and I think this will help. Like just appreciate what I do every day and get a breath of fresh air and come back.
Well, Jessie Campman, it's been absolutely wonderful to see you enjoy today so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Your first ever time standing at the top of the podium of a major world championship such as the KiteFoil World Series. So enjoy the rest of the day, and
Thanks,
congratulations.
Andy. Thank you very much.
So from Mirko, here we are. We're gonna wrap it up from Puerto Beach. Mirko, what's your observation from today? I'm gonna say Giagiotti, Max Mader said he's the MVP, the most valuable player, which, okay, he gets the bronze medal, so he didn't win, but really, really interesting to see him do so well.
Yes, exactly. You're right. I agree with you. Gianandrea Stragiotti is for sure the driver of the day. Like in Formula One, they decided for sure him is the rider of the day. And all the other athletes, they just deserved to win the world title. It was an amazing race yesterday and today as well, with the beautiful Mistral here in Poeto.
It's the end of our first ever Olympic season as well. 2024's been a big year, and what a wonderful way to conclude it here. The KiteFoil World Series here on Poeto Beach, not far from your own home.
No, exactly, not far. I mean, just 40 whatever kilometer from where I live. I really love Poeto. I love Cagliari. I really believe on all the wind condition and all the facility that Cagliari has for the sailing activity, any kind of sailing activity. I mean, here we can have from the windsurfing, wing foiling, kite, till the America's Cup. I mean, we have everything. Not a lot of places around the world they can have such a difference, and then all the sailing community meeting all week. And
well, it's been fun for me, a British person, to extend the summer here in Poeto Beach. But from Mirko Bobini and from myself, Andy Rice, that's everything for KiteFoil World Series Sardinia. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and we look forward to coming back to you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.
thank you.